I bet you don't think you can see the future. You probably don't think I can either, but I do all the time. If you want to know how to see future expenses at your association, this video is for you. I'll explain how getting the right kind of skilled assistance will help you boards and managers see the future more clearly. You don't have to live with a sinking feeling that you're going to be surprised. By seeing the future more clearly, you can enjoy the peace of mind that comes from being prepared.
Well, thank you, Paige, and hello. It's great that we have a strong audience with us today from all over the country, a lot of board members, and a lot of people who've had special assessments in the last couple of years. So I look forward to an opportunity to share what we've learned by working with so many associations to help you with your association, help you have a little bit of success at your association. Well, you've all heard the saying that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. For years, managers, attorneys, accountants, and reserve study professionals have been telling boards to get a reserve study and adequately fund their reserves. But looking across the country, the majority of boards continue to nod their heads and say, you're right, we should do a better job of funding our reserves and not do anything about it. And that's what leads to special assessments. Well, in today's webinar, Funding Reserves and What Happens When You Don't, we tackle the challenge of reducing that gap between what boards know is good and what they actually do. This is the outline we'll follow in today's program. An important question is, can we actually see the future? And that's an important starting question because it's usually the first excuse to not funding reserves. Because, hey, we don't know what's going to happen, so why create a plan? So in this section of the program, I'll share what I believe will help us see that we all can see the future. To get to an appointment on time or to prepare for a test or a game, you need to plan in advance for that future event. When you leave your house 20 minutes before you need to get to a dinner event and it's a 20-minute drive, you think you're totally good. Until you look at the gas gauge and you realize you need to get gas, and then you remember that you need to pick up a hostess gift. So because you can see the future, you know before the event starts, 20 minutes ahead of time, that you're going to be late. And in so many areas of life, we can see the future. We can see what's going to happen. So let me show you how this applies to boards and community associations. Now, the key word today is perspective. It's easy to see the things that are right in front of us. That's our reality. I could reach out and touch and feel how solid that tree is in my own backyard. But the same backyard tree looks different compared to a forest that's at the edge of town. Then that same big tree starts to look small and insignificant compared to an entire forest of trees. And that's perspective. While your backyard tree seems very real, you know there's a whole lot more out there beyond touching distance. Then you back away even further. You realize that the forest ends at the base of a mountain range. You may not see the rocks or feel the snow, but it's there, and you know it's real and huge. The point is that distant things are there. They're real, and they don't go away if all you do is focus on the things up close. Those big, distant things are still there. Now let's talk about perspective and point of view with respect to properties. Let's have a little mid-rise property here. And for anyone with an untrained eye, which is what we'll talk about first, you can easily see near-term conditions pretty clearly. You can see that the paint looks good, or if it's dry and flaky. You can see that the carpet is new or worn, and you can see if the patio furniture looks inviting, or if it's seen better days. The same untrained person may not so clearly or know so clearly if the fence, the perimeter wood fence, is in good shape or poor shape. And they don't necessarily know if the entry system is new or aged. Their skill is in the near-term events, not the mid-range events. So you could say that their mid-range opinions is just a bit gray. And if we step a little further out, the untrained eye is not even likely to have an opinion about things further into the future. Some long-range things like elevator modernization or other major mechanical items or roof system, things like that. And again, that's perspective at work. But remember, someone, if you move to a different person, if someone has an experienced eye, like a manager or someone with a construction background, sees those same mid-range type things, their condition might be pretty obvious to them. They know about those mid-range things, and from their point of view, they know enough even about the long-range things to know that, hey, there's someone I can contact to tell me what I need to know. I know I can get help. And then if you move to the expert eye opinion or perspective, someone like a reserve study professional, someone who looks at building elements on almost a daily basis, even the long-range items seem clear to them. They think, no problem, I got this. They know what the little telltales are. They know how long things last. They're very comfortable making projections about things out in the far distance. So the role of the untrained eye is often played by the board or homeowner. And we have lots of board members and homeowners here in today's webinar. The board member's job is to make decisions about the property, and making observations about the property really is not their strength. Their mid-range observations are commonly made pretty well by the managers. They are the people who see a number of different properties on a regular basis and hear about them as a part of their job, rubbing elbows with other managers, sharing best practices, things like that. And the role of having a long-range vision is generally played by your reserve study professional. It's our job to see, to make observations, and make conclusions and recommendations about things that are even still further away, out in the long-range timescale. Now let's talk about what that means to you. What's your goal? What's your job? Well, your job as a board member is to make decisions that protect, preserve, and enhance the physical and financial assets of the association. No one expects board members to be experts in those mid-range and long-range areas, or to be experts in various subjects or disciplines. Your job as a board member is to make decisions that guide the association forward. And where does this authority come from? Well, it comes from the governing documents. Those governing documents define the roles and responsibilities, and that includes who's going to lead the association. And that responsibility falls on the shoulders of the boards. And you wonder, well, how can we do this? We seem like we're overmatched. Well, make sure that you're working and living under the authority of the business judgment rule. You're not experts. We know that. Boards are expected just to do their best. So board decisions are not measured against industry experts. The business judgment rule, again, from my position here as a reserve study provider, we see that this is a nice three-part test that protects boards trying to do their best when their actions are challenged. And they're going to be fine if they operate in good faith, if they operate in the best interest of the association, and if they reach out with due diligence, they reach out and ask questions when they don't know what the answer is. And that's all about learning what's best for your association. So get the knowledge and perspective of others. You don't have to do it all yourself. But you as a board need to act. Those expenses are coming. Without acting, the place is going to fall apart. It's going to start to look like the place in this cartoon. Your job, again, is to protect, preserve, and enhance the association, not let it just deteriorate under your watch. So I wanted to make the point that in this first section, different people with different skill sets can see the future better than others. You don't have to wonder if it can be done. Please take my word that yes, it can be done. Different people see things differently. And I want to make it clear that it's the board's responsibility to reach out and get help when they don't know things that are outside their particular area of expertise. And if you have any questions on that, please just jot them in the Q&A, and I'll try to get to them at the end of the program.
At Association Reserves, we make the present less stressful and the future more secure. If you want to join us in this mission, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment down below on what you'd like to see us address in a future video. Let's plan for your best future.